for all headphone users, I apologize.
So the first podcast is in order.
Podcast number 1. Is this podcast 1 or 0?
It's podcast 0 of Missing the Joke. That's what we're calling it, right?
Okay, I like the name Missing the Joke.
Because I'm really good at that.
And the audience is really good at it because they don't even know the inside joke of that. You want to tell them the story of the inside joke of Missing the Joke?
What were we talking about? Something about I think my car battery was having a problem.
I don't even remember the original context of the joke.
Anyway, I made a typo and autocorrected it and fixed it. And so
yes.
I just let it.
Yes.
I just sent the message with that, and Micah replied using the typo, and I didn't understand that he was joking.
Yeah, I think you genuinely thought I was
Making the same typo.
Yeah, just making the same typo.
Yeah.
Which I thought I was being clever, like Jasper was going to get it, but no.
No, it took me a little bit of time.
No.
Took me 3
Did
messages.
I still point it out? I don't remember.
You didn't explicitly point it out, but it took me a little bit of time to figure out.
But anyway, that's the joke. It's just missing the joke.
It's missing the joke.
And I think that's kind of perfectly envelops everything that we know about, ourselves in society today. Because a lot of the time we just miss the joke, and we really don't know what the heck is going on at any time.
Yeah, I would go on further to say that we are overreacting to
the punchline that we walked in on, but without the setup.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
I'd say that. Like, if half the internet's a joke, if the internet is trolling us, and we took it seriously, then we're missing the joke.
Yeah.
All of us are missing the joke.
Have you ever walked in, or been not paying attention to something, and looked up, and everybody's laughing at something, and you just choose to laugh along too? Like you hear ha ha, and you're like that awkward.
No, I never do that.
You're missing the joke then.
I'm always confused. What's going on?
See, I'm that type of person that if I hear other people laughing, I just laugh. I don't know why. It's just a thing.
Yeah, laughter is contagious.
Yeah, but you miss the joke, and sometimes you don't even get the punchline. But I feel like a lot of the times when people are overreacting today, they're only getting that punchline. And I think that's why it's so offensive. It's so offensive to people is because, humor can be offensive, but that's what makes it funny. I think Dave Chappelle said in his latest stand-up, I'm not saying these things because I'm trying to be mean. I'm saying these things because I'm trying to be funny. But, not even trying to go off on a offensive rant. That's just missing the joke. That's what happens when you miss the joke.
Right.
These things happen. And everybody gets upset.
Right.
Politics, man. They invade our culture.
So that's how we start off this podcast.
Is that a good start? I feel like that was a good start.
It's a good start to what the theme of our podcast will be about, and what we're going to be talking about, and why we named ourselves the way we named her.
Hopefully, we'll have a consistent upload schedule of 7 times every day. 7 times a day. Every podcast is going to be 4.5 hours long, 7 times a day, 8 days a week.
Because we have nothing better to do in our lives.
No, not at all.
Than record.
School? No. Job? I don't have one. Talking into a microphone at 3 o'clock in the morning is way more important to me.
Who needs sleep?
Who needs sleep? The dead, I guess. You can sleep when you're dead, but I feel like the dead really don't want to die. Ooh. Theme for another podcast. Do we sleep when we die? Good silence beat. We'll go from there.
Little jingle.
Yep. Doop 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 doop. We'll edit that in post. A little jingle will be placed right here.
And then I'll add in a sound effect because I can. Right here.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I've got a couple topics that I've been thinking about for.
Oh, I'd love to hear them.
For my first. We were talking about Instagram,
So
and different social media.
Yeah.
How often is it okay to post?
Never. I would say either never or 70 times a day. In fact, that's a joke because those two types of people are the most annoying. The people
Right.
who never post, or what one thing I hate, and you're going to hear this a lot probably in the podcast. One thing I hate is spam accounts. Why would you ever make a spam account? You know? Do you just want attention? I don't understand people. I'm too old.
See, that's funny because I made a spam account, but I don't post there as often as I do my other two accounts.
See, then it's not a spam account then.
I made it, I think, for spam for me, by definition, was more like lower quality images, and it's
Yeah.
turned into a meme page, really. But
That's what it should be.
I
Really.
was hoping to use it to troll people.
I remember when it got like really popular in our friend group to post, like to make your own spam account, and they would always follow me and ask for a follow back, but I never followed back, and I got like a 10 or 15 follower boost from all those spam accounts, which was nice in the long run, but
Right.
short run, just seeing, and I think I followed like maybe one or two of them of our close friends, and yeah, it just wasn't worth it. Just wasn't worth it.
Some people ended up posting way too often,
Yeah.
couple times a day.
Yeah.
But some people would just post like every now and then low quality zoomed up images of somebody's face in a friend group.
See, that's just too much. I feel like that should be reserved for like Snapchat. That's the perfect place to post spam pictures.
Low quality stuff.
Yeah. I've never taken a
So
high
if
quality.
you're a normal user who's not so who's not very I would say socially or should I say online extroverted
Yeah.
and online introverted. So you mentioned the two extremes, but if you're a regular person, what is a not annoying amount of times to post? Because if you follow a bunch of people who post 0 times
Yeah.
a day, then you're not going to have anything in your feed.
I think even once a day is often too much. I would post only when I got like really a nice picture of something that I really enjoyed doing. Because I feel like once you're posting once a day, you're either a photographer or you're just finding like, an excuse to post something eventually. That's what happens,
Right.
I would say, at max probably 3 times a week. But beyond that, your feed just gets too full.
That sounds
Honestly.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we agreed on that on my coffee shop conversation. Okay, stories on Instagram.
Stop posting them. Just stop.
Whenever they were first introduced, I was like really disappointed. I was like, oh, they're copying Snapchat. What a loser. But then I started realizing that like I don't get any attention on Snapchat because I don't use it as much. I only have like a few close friends on Snapchat. And
not me anymore.
Those people follow me. I don't post stories there anymore. But if I wanted to get a lot of interaction out of a story, I'll post it to
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Especially with the voting and everything. I remember when I was growing out, like my horrible mustache. It was like the molestache, I don't know if we can say that, but anyway, I remember when I was growing that out, and I posted voting, and I was like, what should I do? The beginning of the month's coming up. What should I do? And I gave the two options were, one was keep it, it's ironic, and the other one was kill it with fire. And I think kill it with fire just barely won. But anyway, I think, that for one is a reason why Instagram stories are good. That instance alone.
And they've got a new polling system now. I don't know if you've seen this.
How it's been a while.
It's a little slider that you can slide up, and then So like there's an emoji. I've seen the heart emoji, use the poop emoji. You slide that emoji up, and to that percentage that you slide it, that's what gets sent to the person who posted this story. I've never actually used this. This came out about a week or so ago. But like, say you slide it up 50%, that's what gets sent to the user.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't quite understand it when it first came out. I think I understand it now, but it's really hard to use especially when they're so small. But I do have a lot of complaints about some people who post stories. So stories are kind of hard to read if there's a lot of text.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a picture of like a book and like you've marked out everything but this one paragraph that you want us to read. I'm not going to read that.
Even like people's Bibles post. Like, you know, they'll post a page of something they've highlighted and they only give you like, what, 4 seconds to read it or something.
Right. The stories last only like, I think 5 seconds. Yeah. Don't quote me on that. But like, if you want to actually read it, you have to slide down just a little bit just so it'll stay in its place. Yeah. And that's annoying. The other type is people who post a lot of links, like to...
Yeah, that's annoying. Slide up and do this.
So slide up, the polls, or like tagging people. You fill a entire story. If I'm tapping through it, and I'll do this a lot, just tapping through it, not really caring, probably because you posted a lot of text or you're just spamming your stories. I'll just post through, or I'll just tap through and accidentally vote on something. Or slide on something.
I have done that before.
And I had to go back, send a message. The person was like, was an accident. I did not mean to vote.
And your poll over whether it's queso or cheese dip. I did not mean to say cheese dip. It is in fact queso.
So that's another type of... That's a new one that I just thought of, actually.
And tying that in with the last one, I was originally going to say, you know, if you're just posting spam, why not just post it on, you know, the stories? Don't do that. Because you can really flood up a story thing. And I remember, I'm not naming names, but there's this lady who has children, and she probably posts 30, 40, 10-second long Instagram stories every day. And when I had Instagram, you know, it just would flood up, and like, you don't want that little red circle always just sticking right above, you know, the story thing, because you want to click on it and see, you know, it's just human nature to want to click on it.
Right.
But, you know, that's what I ended up unfollowing the person, because it's like I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. So people like that who post probably, I guess, the maximum threshold, and it's not going to be a very strict defined number, but I'd say about 10 posts per day is even a little like far. But people who do that, I tend to just tap through, and I won't really pay attention unless they're doing something like really interesting, which is going to be very, very hard to grab my interest. Those people, I'll just be like, I'll look at that later.
Yeah.
And then there are some people who will post stories with no context or anything. I'd probably do this, but that's also another way, like, I can't really interact with this. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, or like inside joke memes. Like, I don't like those. Like, those don't make any sense to me. Like, why would you post that? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just getting laughs, and it's whatever. Yeah. People have that choice.
Yeah. And one last type, this is a thing with Instagram that I have a problem. It's nothing really on the user side, but live streams, they've been mixed in with stories, too.
Oh, wow.
That's so annoying, too, especially if you do, like, a live stream for, like, an hour. You have to tap to skip forward 15 seconds. You can't to get to the next story. You can't like swipe to get to the next story, because then you just swipe to the next user.
Yeah. That's annoying, and especially when, I'll just be honest. I'll state my opinion. I am not a fan of going live on Instagram. I haven't seen a video where I've genuinely thought, "Oh, that wasn't a complete waste of my time."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Most live streams that I see on Instagram are, wastes of time. Pretty much any live stream that I've like, gaming live stream and even my own live streams. If people watch them, they're wasting their time.
Even this, like, what are you doing with this podcast?
We'll see with a podcast like this.
It's pre-recorded.
It's pre-recorded.
Yeah.
And you can do stuff. You can do other stuff while you're listening. Like, I listen to podcasts while I work, so, like...
I'll listen to this podcast while I work. Plug, I don't work, but...
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You're a music teacher. Unofficially.
Music teacher.
Can't listen to podcasts.
No, you really can't. It really stinks. Especially because the kid gets distracted. Nah, I'm just kidding.
He's talking about jokes that he doesn't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Just starts missing
there you
the
go.
joke.
That's the name of the podcast.
Do you ever look at my stories? I know that you don't have the app on your phone, but you sometimes look on your browser.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. I think on the browser it gives you the people that you look up, like, their stories first, and so you're always first in that line. A few other people are always first in that line. But yeah, I mean, the browser's really nice because you can click and pause.
Okay.
Instead of having to swipe on your phone.
I've never looked at a story on a browser.
However, I think they could really change a lot of what Instagram could do if they made it available to post pictures on the browser.
Yeah, they could really help themselves.
Yeah.
By allowing that.
That way, because a lot of people take DSLR pictures, like really high quality, 1080p pictures, and then the only way to get it to Instagram is to
airdrop it to your phone.
And that always, lowers the quality.
If you don't have a Mac and an iPhone, then it is the worst experience.
Yeah.
But I have a Mac and an iPhone, so I don't have to worry about that.
Plug Apple. He just dabbed, for those of you who can't see. The blind included.
This was not sponsored.
No. This was not sponsored by Dab.
Or Apple.
Yeah, or Apple, yeah.
So you've probably looked at my account as a grid.
Definitely. I really enjoy that.
You've seen a trend, right?
What do you mean?
I'm waiting for a lot of people to notice. Not many people are noticing this. But if you go to my account...
I always like when you begin a conversation with, "Have you noticed?" Because it always leads down this amazing rabbit trail of stuff.
See, what do you notice about my grid? Just scroll through my grid. Don't look at any of the photos. Or don't tap on any photos. Just look at it. My personal Instagram it's going to be pictures that are of me or just showing what's been going on. My photography page will be pictures that I took with my camera, and then I've got a meme page. It's totally separate.
Here's a picture of you taking a picture of yourself. Oh no, that's
it's not a mirror.
Yeah.
So they're all multi-pics, like posts with multiple images.
Oh,
on the
I didn't even notice that.
Every third post is gonna have multiple
so
pictures.
You can always have,
so that grid is in the line. It's as my OCD is of that level. So if I'm like, all right, I gotta post a picture. This would make a really great multi-picture post. But the next picture I post has to be not. It's got to be a single picture.
So what happens when you have two really good multi-postable things?
Well, one of them doesn't get posted.
Why wouldn't you just post two other pictures and then post that?
Because that would be spamming. And see, that's why that's
why
one
it
of
came
the
up, didn't it?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't post very often, and when I do, it's only once.
That's it, man.
I think it's a really good idea to keep myself from posting too much.
So the last time I posted to Instagram was December. It's weird how reliant you feel almost on social media, especially in this day and age. And I know that's a term a lot of old people use in this day and age. But no, yeah, especially, now it's like there's such a heavy reliance on social media, but I think it's a needed reliance because that's what happens, People, I think I was watching a video today about the difference between Gen Zers, which are us, and millennials, is that we have such short attention spans, but we can process things at like a rate that nobody else really can.
I wrote a paper on that. Yeah, that was my final paper.
Oh, nice. And this semester?
It was over benefits of technology.
Yeah.
I kind of made some lame arguments about it, but okay. Continue.
But I think social media, because it's, so streamlined, it's like I only have such a low attention span, but I need to keep up with everybody. Boom. Social media comes in, the perfect platform to do just that. And, Instagram stories are 10 seconds max, and so you at least have a taste of that person. But do you think it's actually, I'll ask this is, a question for the viewers at home, but do you think it's healthy being able to grab a little taste of somebody whenever you want? Because, that used to be you only would be able to experience somebody else through memory or through like an active experience with them. Do you think it's healthy necessarily that we have the ability to just have a piece of somebody at any time?
So many people like to go on what's called detoxes, where they remove themselves from social media for like a month.
Yeah.
Several of my friends do that, and we actually had this conversation. It was a texting group where a couple of them decided to go off for a month, and one person specifically was like, that's a sign that you're using social media way too much.
What is the detox, or
seeing that you're needing to detox?
Yeah.
So I've never actually done something like that, but I have seen a post from somebody recently who talked about social media, saying, if you feel like you need to detox yourself like that, you're definitely using it way too much.
Yeah.
And there are ways to make social media use much more healthier without getting rid of it completely, so you're not in the dark. And a couple of those methods are unfollow those who you'd probably get upset at.
Yeah.
Only follow a selected number of I'm thinking more like Twitter and Instagram. So only follow a select number of users. Block those who are just gonna hate you, hate on
just
you.
Hating, yeah.
I really need to look up this post again.
A comment that I'll have on detoxers, though, I feel like a lot of the times when people say, "Oh, I just need to detox from this," does a month really detox you completely from social media addiction? I feel like that, especially, and I can't talk from anywhere that, anybody in psychology could, but I feel like just a month detox of of maybe what could be an addiction, is that necessarily healthy, or are you just developing a need, like a taste for it, that you just need a craving for it, that's just going to get resatisfied and restarted after a little bit, because it's like, I've been a smoker for 5 years now and I just need another puff. I'm going to detox for a month. It's like, yeah, and then you'll come back, see how that works out,
Right.
But, then again, we don't know really the addictional purposes, or not purposes, but addictional factors that play in.
Right.
So what was the post?
So, one thing he said was, my least favorite pastime is watching people use social media to talk about how awful social media is.
And who is this? Sounds like almost Matt Wall.
This is somebody named Jackson Dame, @Jackson Dame.
Shout out, but we're
Sponsored.
not shouting him out.
The reason I know him is he used to be somewhat of a interesting brick filmer. He made some pretty interesting brick films back in the day, and now he's a blogger and a writer. He also says, so this is actually like a chain of tweets. He says, I'm more inspired by the people who proactively find ways to make social media work well than the ones constantly deleting their apps just to sign on via the browser to tell us about it.
Does he understand that he's posting this on social media?
Well, he's not one of those people who says that social media is terrible.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'll give him that. He finally said, "Here are some quick tips to make social media better without deleting it all." And this is what I was looking for. 1, mute things that are not good for your health. 2, be super selective about what content you allow into your feed. 3, use only one social media channel instead of 3 to 5. 4, eliminate all notifications. The last one, I think, is super helpful. Especially if you have a lot of interaction with people. Well, people interact with your social media a lot.
I mean, that's just pure excitement in and of itself. When you get a notification, you want to look at it,
I tweeted something out a while back. It was a meme that got really popular.
I remember that. What was that?
It was something about literature teachers.
Yeah, that's right.
I actually did have to turn off my notifications because my watch was just going off.
How many notes did that get? No, or not notes.
We're not on Tumblr.
Yeah. And I don't even know
Okay,
why I
so-
said notes. I don't even have a Tumblr account.
I got overall about 700 likes.
Oh my gosh.
And almost, the better half of 200
Yeah. Comments?
retweets.
Or retweets, yeah. I don't know how Instagram
People
works.
people who reposted it got much more, but that's just the average lifespan of a meme. Reposts always get the more attention than the original. So I did have to turn off my notifications, but that tweet about those tips to kind of limit yourself, I think, are really helpful. Just try to make yourself not dependent on social media. Like, if you could forget to visit the website, then I would say that
you don't really have a problem.
you're really not
'cause-
obsessed with it.
See, I'll see the problem with me because I know I'm obsessed. I've obsessed with it in the past. I did everything that he said, and that's how I live with social media, but it still got to me. So he can't 100% say how to protect yourself from that.
Right.
It's a person's choice. However they want to deal with it, they've got to deal with it their way.
Right. Well, let us know what you think about social media.
Please, that would be great. We would love to hear. If there's any way for you to comment on this, we'd love to read your comments.
Now, unfortunately, I checked, and the subreddit Missing the Joke has been created by someone else. It's not owned by me, but it's not very big, so I might be able to adopt it.
Is our Missing the Joke podcast taken?
I could look that up. Because Missing the Joke would imply that it's screenshots of people who are missing the joke, which
True.
needs to happen, but hasn't happened.
And in fact, if you have any funny memes of that, please send those in. We would love to hear from you.
So I can repost them to our
Yes.
Missing the Joke.
And
I
we
was
will shout you
I
out.
was the first person to post something like that because I saw somebody on Reddit who was missing the joke, and it was like a screenshot. Looked up the subreddit. There's no posts, so posted something. But yeah, if you want to go support Missing the Joke,
YouTube comments are always a good place to find
They are.
us. Just look in any YouTube video ever.
because people
Somebody
who
misses the
hate
joke
on
somewhere.
others are trolling, and some people don't get that.
Some people aren't even, trolling. They'll even say sarcasm in, big parentheses.
They'll do the /s, which
Yeah.
everybody should know by now that means I was sarcastic.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, there's just no way to read sarcasm, It's a language in and of itself. Or even on its own, I should say.
I think the rule is on the internet, on comments especially, just always assume that it's sarcasm.
Yeah.
And then you'll never be disappointed.
I think that's great. Expect the worst. And when you get the best, you'll be happy.
Mm-hmm. How many listeners do you think we'll have by the time the next podcast comes out?
1.
That'll be you.
It'll be you.
I won't have even listened to it.
Yeah, I'll have listened to it. Probably 2. No, I'm going to say 1,000.
How long do you think it'll take for me to edit it?
1,000 hours.
Well, like, how many weeks do you think this will come out?
Less than 1.
Okay, that's my deadline, guys.
They don't know when we film this, so that could be any time. Nobody knows. What's the next topic? If we have one.
I didn't have a next topic.
Perfect.
If you have a next topic, that's fine. But otherwise, I think we could end it.
You know, I would say this is my next topic. But my next topic is sleep and sleep deprivation. I think sleep deprivation is a bad thing. Therefore, if you've ever been deprived of sleep, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Tell them who our sponsors are for today, Jasper.
Oh man, we have so many. So we had Apple and
Apple
and what was the Dab?
Dab.
We had that. We had Jackson Dame. He was an unofficial sponsor.
Reddit was an unofficial
subreddit,
sponsor.
and Our Missing the Joke and Our Missing the Joke podcast. I should probably look that up before anybody else takes it.
Today was also sponsored by Tropico. Was that what we were drinking?
We're drinking.
Oh, Mountain Dew.
You're drinking Mountain Dew. I'm drinking Mountain Dew.
And Tampico. And also sparkling apple cider. I made myself a virgin mixed drink.
Oh, nice.
You know the sparkling apple cider. I'm not going to say the name because everybody knows who it is, and I don't remember the name. But we're sponsored by them.
Sponsor.
Thank you. And Tej Handley, just because I like that name. I think that's like men care products or something. We're sponsored by them.
Don't forget our very important sponsors, Focusrite and Shure for providing mics and equipment.
Oh yes, thank you so much.
And Apple. Well, we've already mentioned them.
We've got to mention them again, though. I mean,
yeah,
they're that important to us. I think we should always end the podcast with the punchline of a joke.
You have missed the joke. Tune in next time to miss another joke.
I say this is how we end every podcast after this. We say the end to a joke and then laugh, and that's the end. That way, if you haven't seen the first podcast, you have no idea what's going on. And you feel like you missed something.
You missed the joke.
And then
again.
perfectly, it just works like that.
So what joke should we end off on?
I don't know, but we need a good laugh after it. He was in the car the whole time. No, that wasn't that good.
I'm missing that joke.
And there you have it, people.
Tune in next time to miss another joke.